Greetings and welcome my friends. This is the play guide for Contagion, the Dimir Toxic deck featuring a pair of enchantments that allows the deck to pop off and win the game much like a combo deck. The opening hand is very important. If you don't feel at all comfortable with what you get to start with, mull. A bad starting hand could easily lead to a loss. In general, I try to avoid firing off Experimental Augury before the opponent has a poison counter since the card has proliferated. But at the same time, don't be afraid to use one early to try to find cards you need. In this case, we used a Surveil land and tossed an Augury into the grave in order to try to hit a land. In general, the deck plays well with 3 lands, but we do want to get 5 to 7 lands in play. That should give us the mana we need to end the game when we've gotten the right setup. Profstic Memory is one of those critical enchantments. Getting one early means we have one piece of the puzzle. It does replace itself when we play it, so it gets us one card deeper, which could make a difference. And here it draws us into a case of the ransacked lab. The other piece of the puzzle. The case reduces the cost of our instants and sorceries by 1 generic mana. Once solved, the case will draw us a card every time we play an instant or sorcery. Here is a good time to mention that you don't want to have more than 2 cases in play at once. Through testing, we've found that 2 really is the best number to have. 3 or 4 cases will run you out of cards even with the cards we have in the deck that are here to prevent decking. Be strategic with removal. We don't have much, so strike when you absolutely have to, but don't try to hit everything the opponent plays. We do have deadly cover up to wipe large boards. But again, try to use it to great effect. We can cycle removals back into the deck, but their limited number means they're harder to find than, say, our cards that draw us into more cards. 3/1/1s are not that big a deal, but they do have a 4/4 dino that will be able to attack soon. 7 damage is a bit more than we should take, so we'll clear their men out. Another reason to hold on to the Augury is it makes it so much easier to solve our cases. Once we have 2 or 3 cards we see a play out for 1 mana, we can try to solve any cases we have in play. The Augury will help us find more cards we can play out until we've been able to fire off the 4 instants or sorceries needed to solve the ransacked lab. Here the opponent has helped us out by having a pair of tokens. We can use a removal to snipe one of them. That's 1. Then we can fire off an Augury. That's 2. We'll take Witness the Future. The second Augury makes 3. We'll take the case. 2 cases in play is what we want. We want them both solved, but in the process of trying to poison the opponent we'll likely solve the second case. To get to 4, we'll play out Witness the Future and shuffle back in the 3 Auguries and a removal. We'll take the prologue to Pharesis. It will finally start the process of poisoning the opponent. That will solve our case, and every instant or sorcery we fire off from now on will draw us a card. The advantage of having a solved case is absolutely enormous. We still get the mana discount, but now most of our cards will at the very least replace themselves. Cards that draw cards will now draw us an extra card. The effect kind of snowballs. Eventually, we will be able to play out enough poison or proliferate cards to take the opponent up to 10 poison. It is really just a matter of time. Even with only 2 cards in hand, that might be enough that we can chain enough cards together to put up several poison on the opponent. The big payoff for having this set of enchantments in play is Inspired Idea. We can play it out, pay 1 mana and draw 4 cards. It's better than Ancestral Recall and it's in standard. Sure, it takes 3 other cards, but those are cards we are leaning on to try to win games anyways. Here we're going to solve our second case without even trying too hard. It's already GG's, the opponent only has another turn to try to win. With us at 11 life, I think it's highly improbable that they can do that much damage to us. With Inspired Idea, you really want to have an eidetic memory in play, or Idea will reduce your hand size by 3. With an unlimited hand size, there won't be any problems. In just 2 turns we went from having only 2 cards in hand to having more than 7. It's not just a lot of cards drawn, it is a lot of poison about to be added to the opponent. If you can't tack on 10 poison in 1 turn, do as much as you can and then end them on your next turn. We do have counter spells to stop powerful plays by the opponent. Again, use them wisely since we don't have that many in the deck. Here we're about to end the game. With 2 solved cases, it's pretty much guaranteed that if we don't have enough cards to get them to 10 poison, we will draw into them. GG's.